2 days away to the NFL draft. Today, in this video, I am talking news and rumors for each draft pick, each team, and whether I'm buying or selling those rumors. Starting with the Browns with the first overall, everybody expects Myles Garrett, but there is some rumors that they really like Trubisky. They could go Trubisky 1. I am selling the rumor that they will take Trubisky 1. They could definitely like Trubisky. It could be a smoke screen. Maybe they like Watson. They're trying to fool some teams. But I'm selling the fact that they would take Trubisky at 1. I would be very surprised. In my opinion, that would be an awful pick. At 1, you got to take Myles Garrett. On to the Niners at 2. A lot of rumors surrounding the Niners. They desperately want to trade back. I don't know if they're super desperate about it, but them trading back, I'm buying that. I can see them wanting to trade back. If Myles Garrett's gone, the value at 2 is not too much different than the value close to 10, maybe like 7, 8 range. It's not too much of a difference in this great draft class. So I'm buying that. But what I'm selling is that they are considering Mitchell Trubisky at 2. I think that's trying to mess with the Browns. Maybe it forces the Browns to take that quarterback because even though they have Myles Garrett number 1 on their board, like everybody, it's easier to fall in love with the quarterback since it's the most important position. So I don't think the Browns fall for it, but that could be their angle there. Also, a recent rumor that the Niners really like Patrick Mahomes. They could like him, yeah, but I'm selling the fact that they're like him at number 2. So a lot of smoke screens going around, a lot of false reports. I mean, these people are getting reports from somewhere. They just don't know if it's true at this time. A lot of teams trying to trick each other. On to the Bears. Bears are another team that will like to trade down. I am buying that. If you watch my past videos, you know that the Bears, out of any team, if I had to pick one team that had to trade down, it would be the Bears. The Bears do not need as much as the two teams picking in front of them, but they don't have nearly as many picks. I think really the Bears' 2 options at 3 for me to give them a good grade on draft night on the first day. The Bears need to take Jamal Adams if he's there. If not, you need to trade down. That's really the 2 other. I wouldn't hate the pick if it was anything other than that, but I really like it that much. Jamal Adams or trade down. Obviously, you need a trade partner for it to trade down, so you can't blame them too much if they can't find that. But they got to be answering phone calls and seeing what they can do. Another rumor for the Bears is they really like Deshaun Watson at 3. Now, there's a part of that I'm buying. There's a part of that I'm selling. It was pretty much after evaluating all the quarterbacks, they determined that Deshaun Watson is the best for them. I'm buying that. Deshaun Watson is their number 1 quarterback, I think. Could be somebody else, but I'm buying that Watson could be the number 1 quarterback. I'm selling the fact that they like him at 3. I don't think it would be that bad of a pick because they need a winning quarterback like Watson. But I do not think they're taking him at 3. It's a little early, and I think their staff doesn't want to develop a quarterback right now. If they have another bad season, they may be on their way out. So they need to get somebody that is going to help them win now. So I'm selling the fact that they'll take Watson at 3, but a trading back could open things up, could pretty much take anything. So I do like them trading back. On to the 4th pick, the Jags. Really not anything surrounding the Jags. To me, it's between Leonard Fournette and Jonathan Allen. And if Solomon Thomas is there, obviously that adds another guy. So pretty much those 3 guys. The pick for me, if I had to choose between the 3, the pick for me would be Leonard Fournette. Such an instant impact and open things up for Bortles instantly. But I think out of those 3, they may like Solomon Thomas if he drops, but I see Jonathan Allen as a fit, and they just love building defense over there. So really none of those picks would surprise me. But again, Fournette would be for me. I think they go with the defensive route though, but none of them will shock me. None of those 3 picks would shock me. Down to the Titans. Titans attempting to trade down. That I'm buying that. They love to trade. They have 2 picks. They have room to do it. Maybe the guy they want really isn't worthy of the 5th pick. Looking at guys like Mike Williams, receiver from Clemson, or maybe if Latimer's gone, Conley fills a need. The other Ohio State corner, but those guys aren't worth the 5th pick. I think Mike Williams is pretty close. But maybe if Jamal Adams is there, you take him because he can play. He's mainly a safety, but he could play corner, could help you there. But if he's not there, you trade back, get those guys that are worthy of your pick, and they just like to trade too. So it's not even that. O.J. Howard, another one. They're rumored to really like O.J. Howard, which I'm buying that. They could use him with Delaney Walker, another weapon. But they could trade down to get any of those guys. So I'm buying all that. No smoke screens there. Really nothing to be lying about there. Jets. Jets are another team rumored to be wanting to trade down very badly. I'm totally buying this one because the Jets are a team that will draft best player available. They'll stay true to their board. But them taking a quarterback at 6, they know that's not really sticking true to their board. It's not the best player left. So if you trade down and then make it your best player on your board and get more picks, it just makes all the sense in the world. Recently, I've heard they like Mahomes, but you got to think it's Watson or Trubisky at the top of their board. So really could be either one. Again, I prefer Watson. But we'll have to wait and see what the Jets' thinking is. Maybe they don't want to trade down. Maybe they're trying to get a smoke screen out there for the Panthers. Panthers may want to trade up ahead of them to get Leonard Fournette. Maybe the Jets want Leonard Fournette. But I'm kind of buying that they do want to move because the best player of their team that stays true to their board takes the best player available. So it makes sense to me. Really nothing on the Chargers. Some people may be thinking they're going to go quarterback of the future. It would be a little surprising, I guess. Wouldn't totally shock me, but I'm thinking they don't go with the quarterback there in the first round. Panthers. First, you got one rumor that they want to trade up to get Fournette, or they want to stay put, and hopefully they hope to get Fournette. Buying both of those. I don't think they want to give up too much, though, to go up and get Fournette, so they're going to see how it's going. But I'm buying they really like Fournette. Recent rumor, McCaffrey doesn't get by Carolina. I think that's if Fournette's gone and they do not want to trade up, then that means McCaffrey maybe a little early in my opinion. But so I'm really buying all of that. It's kind of hard to see that McCaffrey goes at 8 though. But I mean, if Fournette's gone, they like him. He's been getting a lot of buzz lately, so I don't think it's really a guy you can trade back. I think you play it safe and take him if he's that high on your board. Bengals have the next pick. Recent rumors say that John Ross is very much in the conversation at 9. I think they consider him there, but I don't think he's the pick with his recent injury. Nothing too concerning, but I think Mike Williams will be there, or Corey Davis. I think those two guys maybe are ranked ahead. Corey Davis actually could be a guy that falls, so I can see John Ross being ranked ahead of Corey Davis for them on their board. But I don't think they picked John Ross, but yes, I believe he is considered there. Bills, recent rumors, they will not pick a quarterback in the first round. There's been talk of them taking a quarterback. They hang on to Tyrod Taylor, so I kind of went away from that quarterback. I agree, I don't think they go quarterback, but you can't rule it out. Quarterback of the future could possibly be an option. And apparently the Bills may want to trade down. That's something I discussed in my trade scenario video. I think the Bills should trade down. They need more picks because they have quite a bit of holes that if they do fill them, they can be a good team. They can make some noise in that division. I don't know about win it, but if they do well in this draft, and to do well in this draft, obviously having more picks definitely helps. So I am buying that they may want to trade down. On to the Saints. The Saints, recent rumors say that they could go quarterback with 11. It wouldn't totally shock me, but I'm kind of selling that because they trade Brandon Cooks, arguably their best offensive player besides Drew Brees. And I truly believe that they trade him away because they know their offense is going to be good pretty much no matter what with Drew Brees and how they run that O. Their weakness and why they didn't make the playoffs is their defense. So get more picks in this great defensive class and draft defense. So I'm selling the fact they take a quarterback in the first round. It wouldn't totally shock me, but they trade away Brandon Cooks because they know their offense is going to be good and they need defense bad. So that makes all the sense of the world that they're going to go defense with both picks. So I'm buying that part, that they're looking defense. They could take defense with every single pick in this draft, and that'll be okay. Maybe get another receiver in there for losing Brandon Cooks. So, but we'll see. Browns picking 12. Again, I bring up Mitch Trubisky. They really like him. He's an option at 12. I think he could fall to 12. Most likely won't, just because how quarterbacks are overdrafted. But again, all this talk of Trubisky, maybe it's just a smokescreen. Maybe they like Deshaun Watson. Maybe they like Kaiser, Mahomes. It's going to be interesting because remember they did get new office in there, new front office, GM, everything in there just a year ago. So um, maybe they got some tricks up their sleeve with that. All this Trubisky talk, maybe they don't even want Trubisky, but they could definitely like him. On to the Cardinals. Cardinals, a lot of rumors lately they might go quarterback. This one's really up in the air. I think they're considering a quarterback. I'm buying that they're considering a quarterback because Carson Palmer has got to have a year left. That's got to be it. It sounded like he almost retired before this upcoming season, but he's going to play another year. I think that's about all he's got. Thing with them is there's some quarterbacks in this class that really fit their system, really could fit them for the future. I expect the Cardinals to be better this year than they were last year, so they could be picking a little later. Do you put yourself in a position where you're forced to take a quarterback into the mid to late rounds next year? So if you look at it that way, it's like, yeah, let's take a quarterback at 13. Let's take Mahomes. Really fits the system. Got a lot of wow factor to him. Maybe it's a little early. Maybe you trade back, but I'm buying the fact that they're considering a quarterback. That's a pick that I really don't know. I really don't know if they're gonna go quarterback. They're gonna go defense. They'd lose some defense in of the offseason free agency, and they also can use a receiver. So I think it just depends on who's on the board, who's valued the most, a quarterback, a receiver, or a defensive player there. That's my guess, but I'm buying the fact that they're considering quarterback. On to the Eagles, supposedly considering, I don't know how these rumors come out, but they're choosing between Charles Harris, Derek Barnett, Garyon Conley, Christian McCaffrey, and John Ross. So pretty much those are the guys that they're gonna pick one of those guys. They somehow know who's gonna be gone, who's still available. So I don't like these rumors. I'm buying that they like these players, but if Mike Williams drops, he wasn't considered in that list. Do they take Mike Williams? So I have Garyon Conley going to them in recent mocks. I like that there just because that's about his range, and they need a corner very badly. Dalvin Cook wasn't mentioned in those list of guys. I think that could be an option there. I like Alvin Kamara fitting there, but maybe that's early. So I'm buying the fact they like those guys, but you can't really listen to those types of rumors. On to the next pick, the Colts. There's really nothing going on about the Colts. Nothing I can hear really. Latest things, they're looking at offensive linemen. I think it's a little early for an offensive lineman. I know teams like Garrett Bowles a lot and Forrest Lamp a lot as of late. Bowles scares me because he's going to be 25 before the season starts, and Forrest Lamp, is he a guard? Is he a tackle? Probably a day one starting guard. Damn good guard, could start right away, but I just think it's a little early. They could look linebacker here if Foster drops to here, which I expect him to. Do you consider Foster? I think the Colts definitely consider him, but not a lot of noise about the Colts. Probably a good thing, keeping everything quiet. But these teams that are loud about this stuff, maybe it's most likely some sort of trickery. Ravens, another team that's like rumored to be going after offensive line. With their first round pick, went Ronnie Stanley last year. Do they need to do it again? They could be considering it, but I would not go offensive line. I would look at receiver possibly, or just best player available there. But offensive line definitely could be considered. Could try to make it better for Flacco. Redskins considering a quarterback. Another team that could be considering a quarterback, could be a kind of a wild card team. I don't think they would ever trade up for one. I think they probably would like Kirk Cousins back forever, as long as they can have him. But reality is he probably only has one more year there, wants to be traded, wants to be gone. Niners talk about him going to the Niners. So I think quarterback is considered. I think they wait until just to see how it plays out, like who's going to be there, and they consider him. Dalvin Cook's supposed to drop. They're supposed to be considering him there if he drops, because everybody knows he's a better talent than that. I think they can consider Dalvin Cook. They have pretty solid running backs on their team, but could get better there. Redskins are a team that really can't go wrong with any position. I don't think. And any position, I don't think they're a bad team. I'm not saying they have giant holes, but they can't go wrong with any position. If they draft well, I think they can be a solid team, depending on Kirk Cousins, how his mood is. But if he's down like he is now, like he wants out, then that's probably not a good thing. But they could be a solid football team, I think. Titans pick again at 18. I already discussed the Titans. They want to trade. They probably want to trade down with 5 and trade up with 18. I can totally see them doing that. I can buy that. Really, they're interested in receivers and corners as their biggest need. Also, O.J. Howard comes up, possibly David Njoku. I'm buying all that. Those guys can fit. Those guys can help out right away. So, interesting. Going to be interesting to see what the Titans do. Probably going to be the most interesting team besides the Browns, I guess. But you expect the Browns. Everybody should know what the Browns are doing at 1, unless they totally surprise us. So, Titans could be a very interesting team on draft day. They really like a lot of different corners. Conley could be a guy they can trade up with the 18th pick and get. Supposedly really like Kevin King and Chidobe Awuzie. I can see Awuzie on the team. I think 18's a little early for Awuzie or Kevin King, so maybe they use 18 to trade down. Who knows? I expect movement from the Titans, buying all that movement talk that is going around with the Titans. On to the Bucks. Bucks considering a running back at 19, looking at Dalvin Cook and Christian McCaffrey. Dalvin Cook on people's boards, skill-wise, seems to be higher, better graded, but he's going to fall due to off-the-field issues, so McCaffrey not expected here. Dalvin Cook is rumored to be the pick if he's there for the Buccaneers. That makes sense to me. With Jameis Winston, they have a need at running back, even though they have a few, he's better than anybody they got. Back with Jameis Winston, make that offense very scary. It makes sense to me. I'm buying that. They can go many different directions there. They can go add another tight end, even the Njoku's there, or add some defense. I think they need some secondary help to be able to contend, so they could go that way. Broncos, another team that is supposed to take, and we expect to take an offensive lineman, need some offensive line help, but they are rumored to be possibly taking a running back earlier than people expect. I'm buying that. You got to be worried about Anderson's injury. I mean, he's got to be the guy going forward, but you get another running back in the future or maybe right away. So they could be considering a running back at 20. Also offensive line. I think it ends up being offensive lineman, maybe tight end, David Njoku if he's there. But it just depends on which running backs are off the board. Really, there could be very easily 3 running backs off the board by 20. I think they like McCaffrey and they could like Dalvin Cook. Do they risk taking Dalvin Cook? McCaffrey's there. I think they take him, but I don't think he's going to be there. On to the Lions. I haven't really heard much about the Lions. I think they're going to go best player available. If Reuben Foster drops, I believe they will take a chance on him. They could use a linebacker pretty bad. But I think they'll go best player available, most likely on the defense side of the ball. Keep that defense going the way it was. The Dolphins were pretty much kind of taking a defensive player, edge rusher / linebacker in most mocks. Now you're starting to see some offensive linemen. They're supposedly locked in on Forrest Lamp. If he's there, I think, in my opinion, like he should be there, but will he be there? Two different things. Because what I mean is I don't think he should be drafted before this point. I don't really like any offensive lineman before this point. But somebody's going to like him, so I don't know if he's here at this point. If he is here, the Dolphins are supposedly locked in on him, and I'm buying that. They could very much take him. I think if Hassan Reddick is there, I don't think they could pass on Hassan Reddick. So it's going to be interesting to see if both those guys are there. I think they got to go Reddick. Reddick is supposedly, not supposedly, is like the biggest riser, so it could go much earlier than that. We will see. Giants, you got some quarterback rumors on the Giants. Do they go quarterback of the future? If someone somehow drops, then maybe they go him. I go with that quarterback that drops. I know they supposedly like Mahomes. Maybe they expect Mahomes to be gone by then. If he drops, they take Mahomes. I can see it happening, but most likely I think they go with they can go a couple different directions. They can go linebacker. They can go offensive line. They can go tight end. Don't really have a tight end. Wild card would be running backs. They have quite a few running backs, but no guy that's really going to get you anywhere. I mean, they can have some solid running backs that help the team, but if you get a great running back in there, that can really help them take the next step. But I expect offensive line, linebacker, possibly tight end before quarterback is what the rumors are saying. Quarterback is an option. But I'm buying that they're considering it if a guy drops. Raiders supposedly will not take Dalvin Cook. They will let him pass. That's kind of surprising. I think the Raiders would be a team that would take Dalvin Cook. I don't think is too concerning off the field. Was always on the field, able to play everything. So I think if he's there, the Raiders might take him. I think I can see them taking him. Maybe that's a smokescreen. Nobody trade ahead of us and take him from us if he drops. Maybe that's what that is. So I'm kind of selling that he's off their board. Is basically what's the news. Um, they supposedly well, obviously they want a linebacker, so they could consider Zach Cunningham, Jared Davis from Florida. I think they would rather have Davis. Fits the system much better. Fits what they need much better. Could be a captain and in the middle of that defense. So I think that's strongly considered. Is Jared Davis there for the Raiders? Texans. 1 second they're going quarterback in the first round, and all of a sudden, no, they will not go quarterback in the first round. They're going to take one later and try that guy. I mean, if you're really a quarterback away from like a solid playoff team, so I mean, why are you waiting to take a quarterback? I think they're going to go quarterback. I think they may trade up for one. I think Mahomes really fits them. They may trade up for Mahomes. They may sit still and still get Mahomes. Kaiser's also an option. Kaiser's rumored to be going second round. I don't think he gets to the second round. Quarterbacks are always overdrafted, and it surprises us, but it shouldn't really surprise us anymore. These guys were once considered first rounders. All of a sudden, we're kind of dropping them, and we were surprised when they don't go. When they do go first round. I think 4 quarterbacks go first round. It wouldn't totally shock me if Kaiser dropped to the second, but I think 4 quarterbacks go first round. I think the Texans are looking at a quarterback. I think they want Mahomes or Kaiser, saying if Watson is not there, we're saying that they want Mahomes or Kaiser. If Watson's there, Watson may be at the top. Seahawks are next, and the Seahawks, really nothing on them besides Richard Sherman trade. That's kind of passed us by. I don't think they're really ever going to trade him. I think it was kind of all talk. But they could be in the market for a corner in the first round. I look at corner, offensive line. I'm totally buying that. They could go with either one. Receiver could be a wild card, and I'm buying that too. I kind of been saying that they don't really have a big time receiver. Doug Baldwin pretty solid, but they could use another one. I could see a Zay Jones to the Seahawks, but if they wait to the second round, that's going to be too late. He's going to be gone. Late first may seem early to some, but I would not think it's a bad pick. So not too many rumors with the Seahawks, but they can go a couple different directions there. The Chiefs kind of expect a defense, losing some guys and maybe some guys getting older. Linebacker, another corner, opposite of Marcus Peters, could be scary. But a name that they're linked to lately is Curtis Samuel, a guy that's definitely a sleeper first rounder, a guy that can play receiver or running back at a high level. Definitely a good athlete. Kind of just fits the Chiefs. It sounds like a Chiefs guy, so that wouldn't totally surprise me. I think it would surprise a lot of people because you don't really hear Samuel's name in the first round, but he's a hell of an athlete. Talk about Jabril Peppers and Adoree Jackson. They're getting first round talk because of how athletic they are. Curtis Samuel is just as much as athletic as them, maybe more athletic than them. He can play running back and receiver at a high level. So I wouldn't surprise me if he went first round, possibly with the Chiefs. Cowboys, obviously going defense with their pick. Good defensive draft class, so it's okay for them to do that. Won't be a reach. They supposedly really, really like Adoree Jackson and Cordrea Tankersley, even possibly in the first round. That would be a little early to some. Tankersley, I think it would be a little early, but I like Tankersley. Could possibly be one of those lockdown corners at the next level, so I don't think it would be a bad pick. Adoree Jackson, hell of an athlete. Could see him going first round, but as a corner, he needs a lot of work, so I'm more comfortable with him in the second round, but I can buy the Cowboys going with either one of those guys. Do I think it's going to be one of those two? Probably not. I think an edge rusher could fall to them that was expected to go higher, so they could be forced to go with that guy just because he's by far the best player on the board. Maybe like a Tack McKinley, Taco Charlton drops to there. They got to go him, but DB is a little more of a need than edge rushers, so could go with a number of DBs there. Tyus Bowser, another guy that's getting a lot of interest for the Cowboys. I think that maybe more is if he drops them in the second round. I don't know if he will, but there was some first round talk on Bowser for a little bit there. I'm not really buying that. Packers considering obviously defense, considering edge rushers, linebackers, or secondary, pretty much any of it. I think it's got to be secondary. That secondary is pretty weak. It seemed like they could use like an outside corner there, a guy that can cover the deep ball, but also can play press coverage very well. Kind of tough to see which corner is going to be there. Quincy Wilson's a guy that I like, that could be there. I think he's worthy of a better pick than that, but I think he could be there. I don't think they should even think about it. If he's there, you just take him. But not too many rumors on the Packers other than that. Pittsburgh Steelers were considering Jabril Peppers. Are they still considering him after the diluted sample at the Combine? I would think not. I think he was a late first, early second before that. I think he still goes on day 2. Another rumor, Steelers are considering a quarterback. I'm buying that. I don't know if they take a quarterback, but Big Ben was about to retire, as it sounded. So the Steelers, if a quarterback they like falls to them, maybe Mahomes or Kaiser, looks like they may drop the second round. Maybe the Steelers pick them up, though, before they go second round, because they're going to be picking in this area next year. So you can't just like plan on taking a quarterback right when Big Ben retires. I don't know if that works out well, picking late in the first round every year. So if one falls, I can definitely see them taking one. Supposedly they like Mahomes. If he's there, I would take him. But they could go defense. Offense is better than their defense. Obviously, that's what's gotten them far. So they could help out that defense here with pretty much any position. Would expect linebacker or DB over D-line. That defense line's pretty solid, but always can get better. But buying the fact they can go quarterback, the Falcons are rumored to want to trade up from their pick. I can buy that. Falcons trade up in the past for Julio Jones, and it worked out well for them, so why not do it again? But I think it's going to be for an edge rusher or an offensive lineman. Look at maybe Taco Charlton, Tack McKinley, Charles Harris for edge rushers. They possibly can get. Depends on how far they want to trade up. Do they want to trade up to get a Derek Barnett? You got to go up pretty far, but Derek Barnett's a hell of a pass rusher. Could see it, but I mean, unlikely though. That's a far way to go, but they did go up far for Julio Jones, and it worked out. And then you look at offensive line. They supposedly really like Forrest Lamp, which I can buy that. Can play tackle guard. And he fits in right away. So I can see the Falcons trading up. Maybe they think they're a player away from that going back to the Super Bowl. So why not trade our picks and get that player, and let's get back to the Super Bowl. So it makes sense to me. And the Saints with the last pick, kind of what we talked about before. I think they go defense both picks. Maybe if the quarterback of the future drops to here, they consider it. I can see them considering it. Maybe if like John Ross is here, they can't pass on him. We just get Brandon Cooks back basically, but it kind of really doesn't make too much sense. I think you got to go defense. I see with the 2 picks, most likely one is edge rusher and one is defensive back. I would think corner over safety, but could be either one. That would be my guess for the 2 picks. Doesn't matter which order. 1 edge rusher, 1 defensive back, and that's what I think they do. They really like Marcus May, the safety from Florida. Do they take him? I don't know if he's a first rounder. I have him graded as a second rounder, but I don't think it would be an awful pick. The last pick in the first round. Solid safety, knows how to read plays. Great tackling safety, probably the best one in the draft. Besides the top guys, Jamal Adams, excellent tackler. But there's my take on all these rumors for each pick. Gonna have some few more videos before this draft is underway. We'll be constantly tweeting about stuff during the draft, and after the draft each day we will have basically a grades video, the winners and losers I should say, and stuff like that. Best available players for the next day will also be included, so stay tuned for all of that. Please like, subscribe, follow our Twitter, frogs_angels. That'll do it for this video. Goodbye.